Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. For those of you who don't know, my name is Mark Comfort. I have the honor and privilege of being the principal here at Westbrook Elementary School. This is my 9th year, right, doing the winter and spring concert. I would say to all of you parents, so people that have older kids, I probably said the same thing in the previous years, but here we go. Anyway, thank you for having your kids being involved in music, right? Really in anything, but especially in music right now in elementary school. For 3rd grade parents, having your kids start with strings. It's a great way to get them involved with extracurricular activities in school. Obviously in 4th grade, we can start with band, and in 4th and 5th grade, we also do chorus here at Westbrook Elementary School. There are multiple studies that have been done that show that students that are involved in music or extracurricular activities do better in school. Right? It keeps them engaged in other things. I would say in elementary school, it helps to keep them engaged and have something fun for them to do. Also, I think being on a stage and performing in front of a large group of people is good for them in a way to try to get rid of the nerves of having to possibly one day stand in front of a room full of people. Thank you for doing that. We know that it takes time from families. It takes time that you got to listen to them practice, especially when they begin. But then to continue to have them do it and see the progress they make is outstanding. Every kid may not turn into be Mozart, but they have an opportunity to do something and to learn and use a different part of their brain than when they're doing ELA or math in the classroom. So thank you for having them. I would ask you to continue to encourage them to do it as they get older. Tonight, as you know, we have 3 different groups that will perform for you tonight. We have the orchestra and the band under the leadership of Mr. Crystal Cope. They will perform a number of songs for you. First will be orchestra, then we'll have the band come out. Then we will close our show with the chorus under Mr. Kyle Ryan. We have 4th and 5th grade students that will perform along with the select choir. So again, thank you for being active in your students' lives, having them participate in extracurricular activity. We're very excited to have you see the show. They did it yesterday afternoon and this morning for the entire school. They did a very nice job. Thank you very much for coming. And now here's Mr. Culp and the orchestra.
Good evening and welcome to the Westbrook Park Spring Concert. You just heard the theme song from the popular kids show Gravity Falls, originally written by the composer and songwriter Brad Breek. The string orchestra will now play a quick warm-up of the D major scale, followed by beginner strings who will now perform a selection of the well-known songs from a collection called First Tunes and Second Tunes. The 4th and 5th grade orchestra, which is made up of 2nd and 3rd year players, will now perform the Russian Music Box, written by Soon-Hee Newbold. In her notes about the composition, Mrs. Newbold states that Russia has contributed some of the most beautiful art, music, and epic stories to the world.
Images of legendary tales, ballet, folk songs, and dancing bears inspire this work. You will hear the main melody played by the first violins in the beginning, which will then be repeated and echoed by the second violins and violas. Also, listen for a solo by our bass and cello players in the middle of the piece.
Battle Stations is a short but intense piece of music for young string players. It reinforces the key of E minor, eighth note rhythms, and the strong melodic lines for a full, rich sound. Listen carefully as each section of the orchestra will have a turn to bring out a part of the melody as the music moves forward. Please enjoy Battle Stations by Francis J. Caravella, who is also a music teacher from Pennsylvania.
Say a few words. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming tonight. I'm very proud of these students. And of course, there's a lot more to come. But first of all, I want to point something out. If you just started playing your instrument this year in like end of September, beginning of October, raise your hand. Raise them high so we can see. Look at that. Look at that, right? That's what we like to see. Now I know that we've had a lot of early morning practices. You can put your hands down, it's okay. Thank you, students. And of course, the early morning practices are over. Yay, they're very happy about that. But the instruction really does not happen during those early morning practices. Those early morning practices are where we put it all together to get it ready for the stage. The 30-minute lessons that happen during the day are really the instruction that happens. That's the true instruction. And you think about it, like they have a 30-minute lesson once a week, starting in October. We'd like to say that that means 4 lessons a month, but it really doesn't turn out that way. They always miss a couple in November, they miss a couple in December, you have Thanksgiving, you have the winter break, you have spring break in April. All in all, if we're lucky, we usually get about 24, maybe 25 lessons if you're lucky, from the time they start to the time they get up on that stage, which means we're talking a total of about 12 hours. So what they are playing on that stage this year they've only had about 12 hours to really learn all that and get that together. Now, first and second tunes, I always have students, why are we playing these little baby songs? But you know what? Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star is very easy to sing as a small child. Not very easy to play with left hand fingers doing this, and you're holding the violin correctly, or the viola, and you're moving the bow, and you know, that takes a lot of skill. And on top of that, to follow notes with your eyes. So I'd like to just give these students another round of applause. Very hard work. And of course, the adrenaline and nervousness of performing in front of an audience. We're not nervous tonight, are we? Students, you're not nervous, are you? Okay. I would like to just take a really quick second to acknowledge a particular student tonight. This next year will be my 25th year in Upper Darby School District and 25 years here at Westbrook Park. And I've been around. The more I got involved in Upper Darby School District in Delaware County, the more groups I got to see. This is a wonderful opportunity for them, but there are also plenty of opportunities for the students who want to go the extra mile and work a little bit harder. I've seen other teachers in the district as well, and students working with Delaware County Youth Orchestra, Delaware County Young Musicians Band, PMEA festivals, which, speaking of Pennsylvania Music Educators Association, which is a whole conglomerate of teachers around the state, our Southeastern Pennsylvania region, District 12, holds a strings festival and a band festival every year, which any students who are picked for that have to learn 7 new pieces of music that are way harder than anything they have to normally do, which means not only extra practice on their part, but they come to me for lots of extra lessons. Other kids are going out for recess, they're coming up to me for extra practice and extra help. I would like to quickly acknowledge Connor McNulty, who represented Westbrook Park at this year's PMEA Festival back in whenever it was, April, I think, at Kennett High School. Come here, Connor. We have a certificate from the school board for you. There you go. Hold it up so we can see. Thank you, my friend. Good job. You keep it with your folder. All right, yeah. And of course, great job for all the students on that stage, of 5th graders holding together. I'd also like to give a quick thank you to my friends Theo and Steve, who came over from Primus to help out tonight. Toby has been killing it on viola this year. She's doing a great job. She's on the end over here with viola. But she often feels all by herself, being the only viola player playing the harder stuff in 4th. But we have a couple 3rd grade violas that are doing great, but they're just not ready to handle some of the harder stuff yet. So Theo and Steve came over to give her some help. She was very happy to know she wouldn't be totally alone on that tonight. So that's pretty much all my thanks. I don't want to take up too much more time, but I really want to give a big thank you To all of you, all the parents driving your children here every morning, encouraging your kids to participate. I will say this again for the band. I will say this again as long as I continue teaching and probably as long as I live. If it weren't for you, we would not have a music program like this. Students, the way orchestras and bands usually clap is with their feet. So please give me a round foot of applause for your parents for all the hard work and encouragement they've given you. Thank you very much for everything you've done for these students. So without further ado, let me turn it over to Ava and Anna Mae, sorry.
The beginner strings will now join us to create a full-string orchestra as we perform an arrangement from the theme from Dvorak's New York Symphony. Originally from Bohemia, Dvorak was living in New York City when he composed this symphony. It is said that this ninth symphony, also known as the New World Symphony, contains his reflection of living in America.
This theme comes from the second movement of the symphony, which is the slowest of the four movements and was later written into a song by one of the composer's students. Thank you for being a great audience and stay tuned for the band.
The band will now perform Warp Speed by Michael Story. Warp Speed is written for students near the end of their first year in band, utilizing the first several notes from their first concert scale.
Midnight Sky by Brian Bomages is a very melodic and lyrical piece. Although it is challenging for beginner band members, it makes the great use of the first 6 notes on a scale. You will hear the main melody passed around between the different sections of the band. In the words of the composer, imagine a quiet moment under the stars, uninterrupted by the hustle and bustle of everyday life. We often forget to embrace those moments of peace and tranquility. This work seeks to bring that calmness back into our lives.
One final word before the instrumental portion is over, and Deandra and Sarah, you can start making your way down, okay? First of all, just in case anyone hasn't seen around the district or heard, there are some summer music opportunities. If you are interested, the Shaner Music Man Academy does offer some camps, but the registration for that the deadline is coming up on May 23rd. I've talked to some of the students in lessons, but I know that a lot of people have plans for the summer, and that's understandable. But if you are interested, just see me afterwards or send me an email, and I can send you information as soon as possible, okay? Again, everything I said about the beginners with strings, I echo it again to the students you see on the stage. Watch this one. Students on the stage, if you just started playing your instrument in September, raise your hand. Yes. Yes, clarinets, that would be all of you. Okay, thank you. Good. And then, of course, we have our second-year players. Second-year players, raise your hand. Thank you for sticking it out for another year, taking it that extra mile, okay? Good luck next year, where if you go to Drexel Hill or wherever it is you end up going in middle school. Please keep it up and keep on playing, because you're doing a great job. This group this year is wonderful. I can do a lot with them. They were able to read through the music. They work really hard. I would like to, just as I mentioned during the strings, I mentioned about Connor McNulty and the PMEA Strings Fest. In May, Emilio Sampson represented Westbrook Park at the PMEA Band Fest at Marple Newtown High School. Stand up, Emilio, come on down. Come on down, I have a certificate for you from the school board. Okay, there you go. Good job, my friends. And of course, you also saw him rocking out with these two as well on the Beginner's Rock. So, go ahead, hold it up. That's your power. Hold it up. Yes, that's it. All right. Go ahead, back up, my friend. Good job. Okay. Just a very quick thank you to all the 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade teachers for helping students come out for their lessons. Mr. Comfort and Mrs. Bush for all of their help and support with music throughout the year. Mr. Fazio for the artwork on the stage. Mr. Jimmy and Mr. Bell's 5th grade class for helping set up the chairs. Mr. Ryan, my partner in music, whose chorus kids are about to amaze you. Wait till you hear them. They're phenomenal, all right? And of course, Mr. Cinto, our supervisor, who used to be a music teacher in the district, and now he's come back to be our supervisor. It's fantastic. And of course, all of the students, thank you very much for all of your hard work and dedication. Warp speed was warp controlled. We kept it together. It sounded fantastic. You're doing a great job. And I would like all the students on the stage, once again, like I did with the strings, to please give your parents a round of applause for bringing you every Friday morning, dropping it. You can use your feet on the floor, okay, if your hands aren't free. Before I turn the mic over, I just want to echo the sentiments of my colleague, Mr. Mayerzak at Drexel Hill Middle School. I went to their concert Monday night. It was phenomenal. It was amazing. He always does a great job. And I love seeing the students when they played at Westbrook Park at Primus, and I love seeing them continue. But he made a good point. He said, now more than ever in the world today, students really need music. They really need music. And they need programs like this, programs that teach them that putting your all into it can really give back. So, once again, students, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here and for doing this. Keep it going. Don't stop. All right? Now I will turn it over to Deandra and Sarah.
From composers, Rob Grice, zombies seem to be everywhere these days, in movies, books, television shows, and video games. These creatures, or of the imagination, have become a part of pop culture. Zombie Stomp brings out all the goulash in all of us.
Thank you for being a great audience, and when we are finished, please stay tuned for the chorus.
you all so much for coming tonight. We hope you enjoyed the instrumental portion of the concert. You are now at the vocal portion. The first group that we have up here is the Westbrook Park Voices, which is our select 5th grade group. We just did a song called We're Doing a Show, but most of all, how many of you are fans of Backstreet Boys? Because our next song that we're going to be doing is I Want It That Way, featuring the soloist Connor McNulty.
Yeah, you are my fire, the one desire, believe when I say I want it that way. But we are two worlds apart, can't reach to your heart when I say I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Am I your fire, your one desire? Yes, I know it's too late, but I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Now I can see that we're falling apart from the way that it used to be. Yeah, no matter the distance, I want you to know that deep down inside of me, you are my fire, the one desire. You are, you are, you are, you are. Don't wanna hear you say nothing but a heartache. Ain't nothing but a mistake. I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Ain't nothing but a heartache. Ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. 'Cause I want it that way. And you
Thank you so much once again for tuning into our program. That first song that we just did was an original piece that I actually wrote for the choir. They rocked it out. We had a bunch of soloists and also people who were taking a part of a descant towards the end. If you are a soloist or a descant singer, could you wave to the audience, please? Our second song that we just did was called Ave Verum Corpus. It was done by Mozart, but arranged for an elementary setting. So everything that you just heard from that song was not in English, it was all Latin. And then that third song we just did, was a song that was requested for quite a while actually. It's been very popular on TikTok. It's called the 50 Nifty States. And what's really cool about that is that one of our Black History Month artists that we discussed this month was Ray Charles. And guess what? Ray Charles happened to have written that song a long time ago. So it all fit in with what we were talking about in music class. They're excited for our next song, but before we get to our next song, I just want to give some thanks. We have our principal, Mark Comfort, of course, our assistant principal, Cameron Bush, our secretary, Charmaine Holliday, as well as Deb Robeson. A huge special thanks to my colleague, Mr. Chris Culp, who did the band and the orchestra. And of course, a huge thank you to anyone who's involved in the visual and performing arts, including Sal Cinto and Christina Roberts. Big thank you to Mr. Jimmy, who does all the custodial work here. And most importantly, thank you to every one of you tonight who came out to support all of your talented kids on stage. So seriously, give them another round of applause. Our final song that we'll be doing for the program is called You Can't Stop the Beat, which is famous from the musical Hairspray. Please enjoy.
Try to stop my dancing feet, but I just cannot.
Thank you so much again. Have a wonderful night.